All right. Let's. Oh, wow. Excuse me.
Why didn't you mute?
I know. Excuse me, David of the future. Thank goodness we're not starting yet. Excuse me.
Get him.
Get him, Dave of the present. She muted. Oh, that's so funny. I mean, I don't know.
Well, it sounded like you were about to start.
I was, but I was like, you know what? Out of respect, you're a little busy. I don't want to.
Do your thing.
Start peeling open the chocolate bar and like start, and then you're like, whoa! And then it goes up in the air. See, this is where my imagination.
What am I, a cartoon?
Yeah. She glitched out a bit. Too much opening.
I am a cartoon.
Oh my gosh. Too many opus. Oops.
We are Squawking Dead,
a podcast pulverizing programs beyond the Walking Dead universe. Sometimes we give you news, sometimes we make you laugh. Most times we go, oh. I'm your host, David Cabio, and I'm joined by
me, Cosmo Mom 09,
Karina at a Karina Art,
and Rob at Rob Stuffin' Things on TikTok and YouTube.
And we're here today to speak with you about Fallout's second episode of its second season, titled The Golden Rule. Oh, Rachel's like, yeah, that's what it's called. Yeah.
I missed that.
Yeah, well, it's easy to miss. There is some housekeeping, but it's more Fallout related. First of all, thank you, hosts and guest hosts, for coming on, because I know it's very busy and you just had a wonderful holiday, I hope. In case you didn't have a wonderful holiday, don't tell me, but I wished it for you in the meantime. Second, I hope you all out there, the audience, because you come next. I hope you had a wonderful holiday too. If you celebrate, if you're like a Jew like me, I hope you had a trash-filled, garbage-eating Christmas, not a garbage day, a garbage-eating, trashy, fast food-eating, perhaps even Chinese food like I had last night.
That was my backup plan.
See, always have a backup plan. Orange chicken, backup plan. I hope you had a wonderful day.
I do love orange chicken.
See? But it's special occasions because they can really screw it up sometimes. So it's hit or miss. Again, I hope you had a wonderful holiday. I'm glad my hosts are here. I'm glad you're all here, especially Rob. Rob wasn't even going to show up today, and then just
surprise.
Serendipity. There you go. And you too, by the way, can show up here not only in the real-time chat. It's free for all, not just people who support us. It's free for everyone. If you just happen to follow our Ko-fi or Patreon, you too, for free, can join us in the audience. Yeah. Just like Francisco did for a hot second. Then he jumped out because he said, I didn't watch this episode.
Or if you do what I do, pay a little bit for a membership and get on screen with us.
Yeah. Just like be here.
I'm taking full advantage of it. I've been here since September.
Yeah.
Right. He's never left. There's a couple of bit of housekeeping related to Fallout itself, one of which I spoke about the holidays, hoping you had a good one. The Ghoul Log. Amazon Prime featured The Ghoul Log. It's an hour and a half, and it's also on YouTube, by the way. I will include the links in the blog whenever that comes out, probably next year or a year and a half, whatever it is. Ghoul coming in. There's this nice little intro by Walton Goggins as the Ghoul with CX404, which is dog meat basically in the series. He has a bunch of chems to last him the 12 days of Christmas, and he's just sitting down relaxing by a fire, which is not really a fire of firewood. It's a fat man's hand in the fire. He's cozying up, and then it plays basically the radio, which is what everybody in Fallout loves. It's a scripted version of what would have been in the games, etc., but adapted for the series. I didn't listen to the whole thing, but I hope you did, and I think you can still watch it on Amazon or YouTube for your viewing pleasure, and I hope you check it out because it is kind of funny. The intro alone is worth the price of admission. None of you even knew about this, right?
No, I didn't.
I didn't know that existed.
This is what you get for doing Trashy Christmas. I call it Trashy Christmas. We had Sonic this year. Evelyn didn't have Sonic ever in her life, and so we did that.
Oh, okay.
So again, you have to pick a fast food franchise and then just exploit it. Something you never do normally. Most people would never do. Adults of 40 plus years, basically. Next bit of housekeeping is a Japanese company called Prime One Studio, which you can get to via prime1studio.com. They featured 3 quarter-size Fallout figurines that they will be releasing. They're very, very impressive. I will be including a link to that at some point. in the blog. Head over to prime1studio.com. You can see at least the ghoul figurine. It's very, very good. The quality is amazing. The going rate for this figurine, there's a deluxe version and a regular version.
That's a lot.
Did you see it?
I just looked it up. That's
Yeah.
You said the price was gonna be. I was like, holy crap.
It's like, oh, it's probably gonna be just $100. It's like, no, it's the regular one's $1,000.
It's $1,300.
The deluxe one, it costs like 10 caps in equivalent, basically.
It's got a lot of swappable parts on it too, so you can make different poses and heads and stuff.
Right. The detail is really, really amazing.
Yeah,
and
it is.
This is part of a big hour, 47-minute feature showcase, basically, of their new figurines that are coming out. Among them are Avatar, the movie, bunch of anime stuff, Godzilla. Pretty fascinating. Fallout is among the things that we love. And if you're interested in that sort of thing, you can look for their showcase video on YouTube, youtube.com/@prime1studio. If you are curious about the link and you're like, oh, I can't find it, just DM us. I'll send it to you. It's fine. It's in my notes, which you can get, by the way, as a member. You can get my pre-Squawk Insights. It's right there. It's on my screen right there. You can't see it, but it's there. It's like Santa Claus. Third bit of housekeeping. I saved the best for last. I found this on Twitter initially at Discussing Film. Their official article that they were pointing to was the insnider.com. That's THEINSNEIDER.com, which is a blog. That was awful because it had if you want to read more of that article, pay me money. I'm Mr. Snyder. No, I went to a different source, Comic Basics, which refers to the Snyder article, so I don't feel as bad. Prime Video is reportedly launching a Fallout Shelter reality competition show.
I did see that, actually.
Okay, good.
I did see that news.
So
yeah.
So it's like, I'm not making it up, everybody.
No.
Prime Video may be expanding its Fallout franchise in an unexpected direction, according to insider Jeff Snyder. The streaming service is reportedly developing a reality competition show based on Fallout Shelter, the popular free-to-play simulator, where players manage a vault and ensure its inhabitants survive. While Amazon Studios has not confirmed the project, the concept seems plausible. By the way, this on the heels of Physical 100 and Physical Asia. There's a resurgence in quirky reality television shows that, I don't know. I was very impressed. And they just released a third sequel to Physical 100 where the winners from the last one go to Mongolia. It was a joke that was made in the show. So that spun off that third iteration of Physical series. Yeah, the series could challenge contestants to manage resources like food, water, and other essentials to keep their vault dwellers alive, similar to how Squid Game, the challenge, again, thank you so much, Koreans, you give me life, translated the next Netflix series into a real-world competition. Details on the exact format are still unclear, with the show potentially taking place in a single large vault or multiple vaults, which would make sense with the show. Veteran producers Jonathan Nolan and Lisa Joy are said to be overseeing the series through their Kilter Films banner, while Bethesda Game Studios, the creator of the Fallout games, is producing. Filming could begin as early as next year. The reality series would build on the success of the Fallout TV adaptation. Season 2 recently premiered and earned a 95% fresh rating from critics, obviously Rotten Tomatoes. Bethesda is also working closely with Prime Video to bring elements of the TV show into Fallout 76, ensuring consistency between the game and the series. Todd Howard, director at Bethesda and executive producer on the TV series, explained, "We're having those conversations now of what are we doing in season 3 for the TV show and what elements can we bring into our games at that time when it comes out that don't feel forced or fake. If it happens, a Fallout Shelter competition series could give fans a new way to engage with the franchise while blending gaming and television. This is a bold and exciting idea that could bring the world of Fallout to life in a fresh way. It will be interesting to see how fans respond to a real-world vault challenge. What do you think about a Fallout reality series? Share your thoughts in the comments."
I think we should all apply to be on the show.
Are you applying?
I would love to be
Let's
on the
all
show. That
apply
would
to
be amazing.
compete.
Oh my gosh. That would be great.
I was told by my wife that she will not accept me being in a reality television show because it's
Not even like a
cringe.
game show.
It's cringe.
'Cause I'm cringe. I'm too cringe for TV. I'm great for
I think
podcasts.
you think perfect for
It'd
television.
be perfect for reality
For
TV
reality TV, it's
show.
great.
Come on.
I'm
You
too
would be
cartoony.
voted out immediately.
If that's how it
Yeah.
works. I don't
Too
know if it's a
extra.
voting situation.
I'm not cringe enough. I would still try
You're
to get on
perfect.
it. I don't like the drama. I would be in the background a lot. She's on this competition still.
But that's how you
She's been
win.
hiding in the corner. Exactly.
That's how you win. You like
I'm still
fly,
here.
They forget about you. They
apparently.
don't vote
fly
for
under
you.
the radar
Exactly.
until the very end.
You'd be a fan favorite. But you're not the kind of favorite
Quiet
that they're like,
one.
oh, she's so sassy. No, just like,
No,
I
the
just want her
quiet
to
one.
win. Why can't she win?
She
And then
doesn't
she'll get
cause any
kicked off.
problems.
Yeah.
She eats only her fair share of yum yum deviled eggs, and not all of them.
She pushes people to the top of escalators.
Only if they don't move.
See?
Yeah. Get
She's
out of the
creating
way.
problems. She doesn't even know.
But I didn't create the problem. The person who stopped at the top of the escalator created the problem.
See,
Facts.
sound
That
off in
part,
the comments.
yes.
What do you think about that, everybody?
Yeah. You don't stop at the top of the escalator.
Thank you.
All right. Well, we're here. The episode is called The Golden Rule. Excuse me. Do unto others what they don't want done unto them.
Is that the golden rule? I think you had it
I don't-
reversed.
The Wasteland, who knows what the Golden Rule is? Everybody has their own rules.
Do unto
About how-
others. She said it.
So you
Lucy
would have
said
them
it.
do
In the
but what Dave said was
recap.
the opposite of that.
Oh.
Yeah, I said the opposite.
As you
Do
would
unto
have
others
them...
what they don't want done to you.
No. Do unto
Oh.
others what you would have them do unto you.
Have done unto
Yep.
you.
So treat other people how you want to be treated, David.
in other words,
Exactly.
how does the Golden Rule relate to what we just saw?
To answer your question, I think we saw the golden rule a lot throughout this episode, not just in a positive way.
I know exactly what you're thinking.
Yeah,
It's
somebody
terrible.
treats you bad, you treat them bad. Is that still the golden rule, or does it only apply when it's a nice gesture, Lucy?
Well, if the rule is to treat people how you want to be treated, if you want to be treated negatively, then that would be following the golden rule. But I don't think anyone wants to be treated negatively. They just do it because they've been conditioned to just take what they want by force and to get one over on someone before they get one over on you. That's
Survival.
the reality that they've lived in, and Lucy hasn't lived in that reality. So she's trying to maintain a standard of morality that isn't realistic, I feel, for the place that they live in.
Or she was trying.
Well,
She's still grasping to it, I feel like.
Yeah.
yeah, specifically
tough.
the scene in the hospital after the rad scorpion attack. She did what she thought was right because her reasoning was that the ghoul would survive his sting and she was going to die without the stim pack. So she gave the stim pack to her. However, I would like to point out, my personal opinion is that the ghoul was right and that they should not have been helping those people because they're Legion and the Legion is bad news all the way around.
Ooh.
Kaiser's
Yeah.
Legion. Or Caesar's Legion.
Kaisar's Legion, yeah.
And
Or
he
Caesar's
knows
Legion.
that, right?
He
He
that,
does.
yeah,
The bull
Yeah.
knows that.
Why do we know that he knows that, though? Let's just elaborate.
because he's been around for 200 something years and he's
Yeah.
had experience and exposure to all of these factions.
He says it in the show. He says
Oh,
tunics.
I missed it. Tunics. Oh, yeah, yeah.
We calls
he
it,
knows.
yeah.
Awfully far out west for...
Well,
Yeah.
he didn't allude to them being bad necessarily. I mean, he
Oh,
he kind of
he
Well,
has
does
he
that.
said that they're
too.
trash. Yeah, or
Right,
something like
but
that.
that's-
He's like,
She
these
doesn't
are
deserve
scum
it,
or something
he
like
says.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know, but he kind of does that with everybody, doesn't he?
That's my point.
But he rarely makes moral judgments.
Yeah, that's true.
If you think about it, he kind of just treats... He's the great equalizer. He treats,
everybody
the
like
same.
crap.
But he rarely, in the pursuit of treating everybody like crap, says they're crap.
He does kill people. if he
Clearly.
thinks that they're going to be a problem later on, but I don't think we've
I
ever
see.
seen him quite do this where he just walks up and immediately slits the guy's throat. That was pretty intense.
Jarring.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
jarring. And my argument here is that, of course, from a narrative standpoint, it makes sense that he didn't explain everything right away. But because he didn't simply explain himself and who these people were, Lucy didn't know that what he was doing was the right move.
Do we know?
As the audience, you
There's-
don't know either. So I think
unless
that's the
you do.
point from a
Okay.
narrative standpoint.
I
But from a
appreciate
standpoint of
your
somebody who
honesty.
knows the faction that he's talking about, I wasn't sure who they were until she called Lucy a profligate.
You were like
Oh.
90% sure, but
Yeah, I
then-
was like, I'm not entirely sure because I couldn't remember what the women of the Legion looked like because you don't see
See
hardly
them?
any of them in the game.
Okay.
They just aren't around. And there's a reason for that because they're extremely every possible negative thing you can think of. I wrote it all down. They are imperialist, nationalist, misogynistic, anti-LGBT, anti-intellectual. They pillage, they rape, they crucify people. They're the worst possible faction. The ghoul is absolutely justified in what he did because helping the Legion is not helping anybody. No good deed goes unpunished, that type of thing. But he doesn't explain himself, and so she thinks he just walked up and murdered an innocent person who was unable to defend themselves without realizing the fuller context.
Well, not only that, Lucy's been completely shielded from the world altogether, so she still thinks that people can be good, even if she
Right.
doesn't know anything about them. Whereas the ghoul he doesn't be an a-hole for being an a-hole's sake. He has reasons for everything he does. Even as an audience member, you're not as naive as Lucy going into this, so you kind of trust everything the ghoul says, even though he is an a-hole.
Some people
Right.
are as naive as Lucy.
Some
points to
people,
self.
but
Yeah.
Initially, and then
Yeah,
you
I get
realize, okay, the ghoul says just before this happens, you know what I was you right after
Before
the
the
war.
war.
And well, look at me now, basically.
Yeah.
My first clue that she was not a great person is when she told Lucy she might get raped by the wrong people.
Yeah, see, that's
And
what I
I
was going to say. in
thought,
response to
wrong people,
Karina.
yep.
who's the right?
Are they the right
Who
people?
are the right people?
Meaning the Legion.
The Legion is the right
She's
people.
allied to
Yeah.
the Legion. So whether she's an indoctrinated slave or if she grew up as part of the Legion, she's got this mindset that the Legion is
That's just what
top
they do.
priority. That's what's going to happen to you anyway. It might as well happen with the right faction, meaning her faction, instead of a raider
Oh my
or
God, Rachel.
NCR or something else.
Yeah, it's
I'm not
horrible.
saying she's correct in her
No, I know.
assumption. I'm saying that's her point of view.
It's her
Like,
worldview, though. That
Yeah, it's
establishes her
right.
worldview. It's a lot like the
Yeah.
Brotherhood of Steel in that respect, where
Yeah.
we got an eyeful of that in the first season when we first introduced to Maximus. But it's very
Yeah.
interesting to see, even without seeing them necessarily, what they're like.
Mm-hmm.
Any more noises, Rachel?
I'm scared for Lucy. Honestly,
You have 'em.
Like, yeah.
Okay, I was hoping to milk that.
Since we're hanging out right in this area, the not Caesar's warriors is our Tunic friend. Is she with the?
She's with the Legion.
Mhm.
She's part of
Are
the
they in
Legion.
the Caesar's armor?
They're Legion. Yeah.
That's okay.
You saw the guy with the wolf
Yeah.
hat on. I think that's
Okay.
a legate. But yeah, they have different ranks. Those are all legionnaires.
Okay,
So
because
Was it a
when
wolf or was
Lucy
that a
noticed
bear?
them,
could have been a wolf or a bear. I could be wrong.
It was dark.
Yaguai typically don't have a lot of hair on them.
Mhm.
So that's what made me think it was a wolf. Even in the game, it looks furry. So I was thinking it's not a bear for that purpose because they're usually hairless in Fallout. So
Yeah,
like,
as we saw in the first season as well. But
yeah,
then there's also since all these outfits are based on costumes or are costumes.
they are. Yeah, they're borrowed from costumes.
I
That
mean, he
you
could
would
have easily
find.
taken that from a bearskin rug, either.
Exactly.
Because what it kind of looked like
Mhm.
too.
Yeah, it may not be real either.
This fur is pre-war,
Pre-war fur
as he feels
or
himself
faux
for some
fur or
reason.
whatever.
Yeah,
yeah, if it's synthetic, that's why it's lasted 200 years.
Right.
exactly.
I just know poor Lucy is in for it because when you
Yikes.
play as a female protagonist in New Vegas, the Legion treats you very badly because they consider you less than a man.
And even if you're nice,
Yeah, even if you're nice, or even if you're not nice, if you're playing as a female character, the Legion doesn't give you the same rank at the end of it if you help them take over Hoover Dam. That's the point of New Vegas, is who controls Hoover Dam at the end of it. I don't remember the specifics, but I do remember being really annoyed when I did play through and side with the Legion, because I was curious what would happen. They're just awful. They don't give you the same awards and rank and status within their little club. So
Jerks.
part of the reason that you can side with the Legion is eventually they capture Benny, who shot you in the head at the beginning of the game.
Mhm.
And you can choose to kill him yourself, or you can choose to crucify him. And he is real mad at you if you choose to crucify him. So,
well, he better be.
'cause- yeah, well,
That's the
I mean,
desired result.
he
It's the
did
golden rule.
shoot you in the head and throw you in a grave before
Yep.
you were actually dead. But I still think that was an overreaction.
I don't think it's
based on
reaction
the fact
enough.
that they don't make sure that you're dead before you're up on that cross. So
Well,
Yeah.
speaking of, we got to see a little bit of that in the end credits. Them not only crucifying skeletons at the end, but right before that, there were two specific, either they were effigies or they were real NCR. I would doubt that they're real NCR, considering there is no more NCR, I guess.
in the game, NCR is very much a faction. They are controlling a Hoover Dam, and the Legion could take it over.
I misspoke. As far as we know, it doesn't exist because we haven't seen it. All we've seen is Shady Sands, basically. That's gone. Maximus was part of that. We saw the beginning, we saw the end, etc. But there were two bodies, effigies, who knows what they are. They're both crucified. One has a sign on it that says "Democracy nailed it, Fallout," and then the other one says "Caesar says hi" or Kaiser, whatever.
Kaiser, yeah.
I thought that was funny.
Yeah.
Also,
Jumping ahead a little bit, Fallout, we mentioned before, it doesn't take itself too seriously.
agreed.
And its humor definitely suggests that. But the entire Shady Sands flashback sequence shows you where Fallout can be emotional and be extremely heart-wrenching, because that entire sequence was so heartbreaking because these parents know that there's nothing they can do to survive this. You can't outrun a nuke. So the best they can hope for is to save their kid, which did work. They didn't know that it would work, but that's so sad.
His dad is so smart, though.
I know. The wife is upset because they were so close to getting things running and working well. Things were going well, and
Right.
now it's all just going to be wiped out in a second.
As evidenced by the water filter, I'm assuming is what it is.
Water purifier. Yeah.
Right.
To that point, that is a water purifier in the game. So in Fallout 4, you can build settlements. That is the mid-grade water purifier for any settlement. So I thought that was cool that they included that.
Let me just ratchet that up a notch, because we're first introduced to this concept in the second episode of last year with the water farmer, the dirt farmer.
The dirt farmer.
We didn't know it was a water. We weren't even sure if it was a water filter.
Yeah.
All we know is that sand was in it, essentially.
Yeah.
And he was a good for nothing, but he was sweet. And Lucy should have stayed with him, as I said in the clip that was out there somewhere. Her life would have been way better off than with the ghoul, wouldn't it have been?
She had a mission. I don't know. She still keeps trying to drag the ghoul back into the light, I guess.
Yeah.
The way she admonished him, I think it kind of got to him a little bit, where she was like, I'm trying to make sure that your family isn't appalled by the person you've become, which
He
she
did
has
have
a
a
real
reaction
point
to that, it
Yeah.
seems like.
Yeah, he seemed deeply cut by that, because I feel like it might be kind of real, because if his daughter and his wife have been frozen in a vault for 200 years and they see him not only physically, how does he look, but emotionally and who he's become as this person over the last 200 years. Does he look on the outside the way he is on the inside?
Right. We know that that's true. Absolutely.
To an extent.
To a
I think to
great
an extent.
To
Yeah.
a great extent, that is true.
I think Cooper Howard is still in there somewhere, but he's definitely who's not going to be completely changed over.
Sure.
200 years?
I didn't say it was justified or
Yeah, we change
understandable.
over our lifespan. You know, every 10 years or so, you could consider yourself a different person than who you were the last decade. Imagine 200 years of life
to
experience.
multiply by 10. Yeah.
And difficult, horrible things happening to you throughout those entire 200 years. That would change anybody.
Well, we know his wife is pretty horrible, but I think he cares a lot about what his daughter's going to think of him.
Well, especially considering where we ended up with
Yeah.
Barb and Cooper.
I kind of want to know how long he was in the ground for, because when we first see him, he's being pulled out of a coffin.
True. I forgot about that. Okay,
Yeah.
keep going. Say more.
Someone put him in there and was feeding him drugs to keep him not feral
That
from the
doctor.
surface. Yeah.
Yeah.
So and I wonder how long he'd been in there, how he was captured, how we ended up at that point. And when did his daughter get separated from him? Because she was with him. I mean, we talked about this last week, that she was with him when the bombs went off.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
was. I'm curious to know how all that played out, because he obviously got separated from her at some point. Did she get exposed to radiation too? Is she a ghoul? Because that is a thing that can happen. Just depends on who you are.
All right. When did he get in touch with that doctor that put him
Yeah.
in the ground or whatnot?
Oh, that'd be so cute if you had a little daughter ghoul. It'd be a little daddy and daughter ghoul. I love that.
That
Cute's
could
not the
be
word I would
beautiful
use,
or
but-
heartbreaking.
I hope she's a ghoul.
In Fallout 4, there is a side mission called Kid in a Fridge. So you just happen upon a fridge in the wasteland, and some kid is calling out he's trapped inside of it. He's been trapped in there for apparently 200 years. You let him out, and he's a ghoul. And he's like, I gotta find my parents. I gotta find my parents. And so you take him back to his family home, and his parents are also ghouls.
Oh,
When you get there, and they just have their little happy ghoul family in the Peabody house.
that turned out way differently than I thought it would.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's actually a fairly wholesome quest for once.
How did the kid not go crazy?
He didn't go feral. Yeah, he
Right.
was totally fine, just trapped in a fridge for 200 years.
Kid in
Still
a fridge.
ghoulified, so obviously he got irradiated, but yeah,
But
that's
evenly. He
interesting.
had an even coating.
I guess.
He was evenly browned or green.
Fully cooked.
I don't know. It's like,
When
yeah.
we first saw Maximus as a kid step out of the refrigerator in a flashback last season, I even said, give this kid a fedora and call him Indiana Jones, because that's going to piss
Right.
off a lot of people.
From Crystal's skull, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 People didn't like that
It's
at
not
all.
canon. I'm just kidding.
It's not
It is. Totally is, actually. And
It
it,
is.
has
They just- but
aliens
they
too, by
killed
the
it.
way.
Yes, it does.
We got confirmation of something that I'd been wondering for a very long time. Maximus's actual name is Max.
Yeah.
but we didn't know that. it's,
Oh.
it's kind of
I mean, I
a
never
perfect
questioned it.
Fallout humor thing
Yeah.
to have happened.
Yeah.
Like, well, I wonder what his name was. Oh, could be anything. No, it's just Max.
It was Max.
But now it's Maximus. How about that?
Was it Maximilian before? And now it's Maximus.
Oh, brother.
Because there's a lot more Brotherhood of Steel, Maximus.
Yeah. I was really intrigued by what you said about, they could be in a cryopod vault thing.
Right.
And we did get to see what the premium elite plus
Yeah.
cryopods, which, hey, I'm impressed. Cool, fine. Only 8 of them counted.
Yeah.
Could be more, a vertical thing. It's a big facility. It's a very vertical facility anyway. But when you said that, I thought, wait, why wouldn't they be there? If we think about it, well, where is Janie? Where is Barb?
Maybe. Yeah,
They
it's
could be
possible
there.
that they're there.
In the elite
They could-
premium plus, they were very important people
It
to
seems
Vault-Tec.
like the executive people of Vault-Tec all seem to be getting cryogenically frozen, at least for
Reclamation
the series.
Day.
Yeah, they're going to come back on Reclamation Day and retake everything, so obviously they have to be alive for that. It seems like a lot of them
Ideally.
are getting frozen. Yeah.
They'd be alive for that. Right, Karina?
Is anyone else heartbroken over Bud?
Oh,
Let's give context for people who maybe didn't pay attention to that one particular scene. Obviously, Norm in the last episode opens up all the cryo vaults,
mhm.
and we saw him overpower, in quotes, Bud with his little syringe full of, we don't know if it's going to come back, the little death juice that he has that I made a funny noise about. Well, it turns out he simply picked up Bud Askins and threw him in the garbage. Sorry, I couldn't even get that out right.
He did, though.
It's just the more I think about it, because he was upside down in the garbage. It wasn't that he was just tossed and
Mhm.
also glitching out.
Like he got slammed
Is
in the
Bud
garbage.
Askins still alive?
It didn't look like it. I think if he was, we would have heard him being like, help me, I'm in
Yeah.
the trash. Norm had like ripped the wires out that were keeping him alive.
You know, when you spray a cockroach with the poison and it's sort of twitching
Twitching?
around, I feel like that's what was happening with Bud. He wasn't fully dead, but he was on his way.
Yeah.
It would be in typical unceremonious fashion that he would be taken out that way, right? In a Fallout sense.
I mean, he didn't seem unhappy, but what a miserable existence to be a brain on a Roomba. He seemed pretty useless. Like if things weren't going his way.
Yep.
You know, a broom fell over and he was totally trapped for goodness knows how long.
Is this the last we've seen of Bud Askins?
I think so. He seemed
Okay.
pretty shorted out and done.
How do you
Yeah.
feel about that, everybody? I want to get the feeling circle on this one because there's a part of me that's kind of like, I kind of want to see more of Bud Askins. It was funny as hell. First,
Yeah, I liked Bud. I liked him as
I
a
do
character.
like his
I wish we got
sincerity
more.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think he was a likable character, but I'm not broken up about it. at
He's
all. It's
likable
like,
in an
oh,
unlikable way.
He's done. It's over with now.
You know what it was? Okay, I know what it was. Okay, I figured it out. Because he's obnoxious. He, whatever you want to call Bud. But the fact that he was so harmless was like, okay, I'm allowed to be okay with this perfectly obnoxious, I'm going to take over the world on a Roomba character.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? It's just
But
perfect.
those are the kind of characters, if that brain had got implanted into an Assaultron or something like that, he would have been a real problem.
Right, yeah.
He's better off on a Roomba and getting taken out before he has any access to any real power.
Well, can you imagine the egg on your face? Liking this character and then all of a sudden it being in an Assaultron body, which again
Oh,
could
God.
happen still. So
Yeah,
there's
yeah,
that.
that'd be interesting. Yeah, little twist.
It would be in typical Fallout fashion, perhaps. Maybe I'm leaping or taking a reach here for that character to make the audience feel like dicks for ever liking this character. Of course, they would do that to the audience.
Turn him into a murder robot. Like, put him in a Sentry Bot or an Assaultron.
Or even a terminal. I think it would be so annoying.
I think these new characters that Norm woke up have the potential to be equally obnoxious and funny because they're all like brand
But
new
they're
in
not
this
brains
world.
on
And
a
they're
Roomba.
Yeah.
no, I know. I mean, they've already been a little funny.
Yeah.
The one girl immediately was like, somebody ate my Malcolm crackers. Like, she was very
Thanks,
upset about
Mom.
it.
Also helps you figure out the passage of time too.
Yeah.
Norm, 'cause
Can
he
she
ate 'em.
see now?
That's a good question. Like, they never really clarified that.
Well, it
Yeah.
happened to Steven, what's his name? The Premium Elite Plus
Oh,
cryopod person. He had trouble seeing as well
Uh-huh.
initially.
Yeah.
I love that it's
I
consistent.
assume that she can because they all climbed out of a ladder together. They just didn't
Okay.
draw attention to it.
just took a while for her to
yeah,
her
Yeah.
vision. Okay.
Common side effects include temporary
guess.
blindness.
I guess so.
I had a very funny thought when we were watching the Shady Sands and the guy was bringing the cart in and he just kept repeating
I
over
wanted to
and
go back
over.
there too. What
And
is
I-
with our
Yes.
and I-
brains?
I'm watching it and I'm like, okay, if this isn't an actual character in the game just repeating these things, an NPC?
Yeah.
An NPC.
It's one of the most common and repeated and fan annoying NPC dialogues.
Okay.
Just to hear
Well, you
somebody
had
saying,
a feeling about that?
I
And then
did.
Karina's confirming it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
No, I thought it
patrolling
too.
the Mojave makes
like, oh,
almost
it's an
makes you wish
NPC.
for a nuclear winter. Like, please shut up.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm like, this sounds exactly like something that would be said in a video game.
it's literally exactly that.
So Hank is making NPCs of the world. The whole thing makes so much more sense now.
yeah, it's making
All of it
I know,
makes
I
more
have
sense.
so many
Making a
questions when it comes to that too.
canonical reason for NPCs to exist in Fallout.
Is Hank. It's all Hank. See,
Hank
it's
and his
chaos.
little control thing.
Hank is behind the wheel.
Right.
As the ghoul was basically referring to at the end of season 1.
Also, they managed to make that pretty sinister, though, repeating that over and over and like becoming more and more apparent that something is very wrong. That was pretty creepy.
But I love how
Yeah.
it was the sheriff. Was the guy that was sipping the coffee outside? I thought it was a law person.
It's probably
And he was like, yeah, that's completely normal.
Like watching him walk in. Just
yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
because it is, from a gamer standpoint, to hear that being uttered as he's walking by. Of course, the carabiner said that because everybody says it every 5 minutes. Like, it's kind of one of those tongue-in-cheek, fourth wall breaking jokes. And the same way, I made a similar connection when Max is on his mission and they're retrieving the technical doodad or whatever, and they're like, "What is this?" And he's like, "It doesn't matter." And because he's on a fetch quest, because Fallout and Skyrim and many Bethesda games are inundated with fetch quests. They're padded out to extend the life of the game. And when you join a faction, a lot of times you get sent like, oh, get your next mission from so-and-so. And then you go talk to so-and-so and they're like, go get this thing from that place. And then you have like 12 of those in a row. And eventually you're just like, whatever it is I'm getting, it doesn't matter. I'm just following the cursor. It doesn't matter.
Just give me the all clear.
Yeah, exactly. And then he actually gives it back to the elder. He's like, well, what is this actually? Turns out kind of important.
He actually says something profound.
Yeah, it's actually important. But it does remind me of how you get kind of bogged down as a gamer playing the game like, here we go, let's go retrieve this other thing from a ghoul infested whatever and like bring it on back. Doesn't matter what it is. Pushing that faction quest further ahead.
Just one dumb Easter egg is the animal that he's pulling. We finally get to see a Brahmin,
Yes,
that two-headed
the
ox.
two-headed
or something.
cow. Yeah, the Brahmins.
I
Yeah.
don't think I even
I
noticed
thought that was
that.
pretty cool. So yeah, it's
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
dark. I don't know. The Brahmin is so dark, and you're like, oh, it's pulling a thing. Let's completely dismiss this beast of burden.
Yeah.
I was looking to see if it would have two heads
Yeah, it
because I
did.
was like, oh, it's a Brahmin, obviously. It's Carabineer. He's probably part of the Crimson Caravan. And they always have a Brahmin, and they're always two-headed.
That is
So
In
I
this
wasn't
world,
happy
it'd be
about that.
rare to have a one-headed Brahmin.
Yeah.
That's
If you notice,
obscene.
too, the NCR logo is a two-headed bear.
Oh.
a two-headed Yagwai. Just kidding. It is a bear.
Well,
It's a bear.
it's a bear. Because Yagoi aren't two-headed. They're just
No, they're one-headed but freaky.
deformed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
One-headed,
Angry.
but
I apologize to the Yagwai community.
I made an assumption, and maybe I'm right, maybe I'm wrong, but I'm assuming that Hank destroyed Shady Sands because they were making progress. When he comes out of the vault, he wants to be one of the leaders, if not the leader. And if other people
Yeah.
are finding ways to survive on the surface right now, then they're not going to need him. We see them making drinkable water, and that overhead shot, we saw a lot of green. Obviously, they were growing things. Is that a safe assumption?
No,
I think so.
absolutely not. We were
No?
wrong when we were trying to figure out, oh, why did Shady Sands blow up? No, we found out it was because of Rose. Because Rose fell in with this community, fell in love with Moldaver. Do you remember the ghoul Rose
right,
at the
yeah.
end?
Yes.
But we
now I
saw
do.
on Hank's Pip-Boy, the detonation was complete. He
Yeah.
He did it.
Yes.
Detonated
Because
that.
Rose
He
was
blew it up
leaving
because
him.
Rose left him and
Oh.
was going to take the children.
It was
Yeah.
jealousy.
Oh,
No,
It was mainly that. Your thought has merit because
Sure, of course.
yes,
course.
the Vault Tech executives do have this directive to do Reclamation Day, and it kind of throws into disarray their entire plan. If other people are already establishing a good society out there, it ruins their whole narrative of we're the only way that this can happen.
Was the whole purpose of the nuke being
Yeah.
dropped.
So
is to
yeah,
make
yeah,
it so that
to
they're the ones in
ensure.
charge.
So
Right.
I think it was probably 90% Rose was leaving him, and
Like
he did it for that reason,
99%.
and like 10% because they were actually doing well without
Yeah.
Vault-Tec's
Yeah, Hank
like, influence.
incidentally did what the company wanted.
Right. He's company man. You got to remember.
But you know how we know even further that it was all about Rose and not at all about the company? We see that flashback, obviously, after he blows up Shady Sands. You see the detonation on the Pip-Boy, like you said, Rachel. And he's sitting down to read a book to Lucy and Norm, it looks like in the background, a little blurry version of their younger selves. Obviously, you see it aged down. Kyle MacLachlan. It was actually pretty good. It was all right.
It was very good. I'm like, wait a minute.
He's so old.
They did a great job. No, they did a great job.
It's fine.
They do de-aging so much now, I don't even realize they did it. I just watched it.
Yeah.
It's just Kyle MacLachlan. Yeah.
It is.
He's timeless.
I mean,
he does the okie dokie thing that Lucy does. I had asked the question. We don't want to let go part of us because we're introduced to such a nice Hank McClane in the beginning of the series, and they took my dad, etc. You find out how much of a dirtbag he is, and why he did what he did is even worse. But just like the Ghoul, again, I'm comparing him to the Ghoul. He's also a used to be family man. I thought he did this also for the same reasons, Rachel. But then I realized, oh wait, he did this not just because Rose cheated on me and she's willing to leave me and go to this society, whatever. You see why in his interaction with that Steven Elite Platinum Plus guy, Steve, as he calls him, he's letting you know how he feels about things based on how he treats the Steve guy who took the Elite Platinum Plus cryopod for himself, leaving his family behind.
yeah.
So in doing that, you understand him a little bit better. Why does the show want us to somewhat even remotely humanize Hank? I have no idea. I hate that it's working a little bit because then he sits down and reads the story to the family. Oh, wait, it's because he overvalues his family. I thought it's because he undervalued Rose. And yes, that's 100% true. But he hates what Rose did because it broke his family. I have a better understanding of what motivated him to do such a crazy.
Yeah.
It's still wrong. It's still
to kill
crazy.
all those people for her actions.
Right.
To punish all those
for
people.
breaking their family.
Yeah.
I could even go as far as to say the following. Do you think it's possible that when they woke up Hank and they had the famine, obviously, and whether that was a vault experiment is a whole other story and why that was. Do you think that Hank, before Rose leaves him, because I think she was leaving him because also he kept secrets. That was part of it.
Mm-hmm.
And then she's like, realized I can't trust this person. And then she finds love in Moldaver, fine. In purpose, probably, because Moldaver knew of Vault-Tec before, because we see her in the past scenes. Do you think it's also possible that Hank, up until that point, may have abandoned Vault-Tec? He spends like about 20 to 30 years with Lucy and Norm raising them, and he may have in his own way sort of abandoned the project of Reclamation Day until Rose found him out. And it's that typical guy thinking, right, Rachel? Guys, they blow up things, right? Because it's her fault, not my fault, that she left. Not me keeping secrets. It's her for discovering the secrets and doing something about it.
I feel like he's motivated by control. He was the overseer in Vault 33. Okay, so he was in control of this entire community, and as far as they were concerned, all of existence. He knew the secret of Vault 31 when nobody else did. He had control over his family, and Rose leaving him, he lost control of that. And in an effort to not only punish her, but also fix that control issue, he got rid of all of those people. He blew up the nuke. He took away everything that she had valued outside of the family. And now, on his little mission to this Vault-Tec facility, just blowing up mice and people.
Steven.
He seems very indulgent in his ability to be in control. He's the only one there. He's the top dog. He's calling up, leaving a message for, we assume, Mr. House, saying, like, you're going to be begging me to do this. Like, I think part of who he was as an executive trying to climb that corporate ladder, he values control. And when he loses control of something, it triggers him. So I think that might be part of it. And he kind of has it in his little facility that he's like the king of right now. So
two things could be true here too. Everything you're saying makes perfect sense. He was in control of the narrative he spun about his family, with his family this whole time. And that bubble burst. In Lucy finding out at the end, Pharaoh Ghoul mother across the table, Hank in the power armor suit, that bubble burst. Hank's first mission of keeping his family together, that's gone now. Right? He's abandoned that because Lucy's never going to love him anymore. Or maybe that's what he probably thinks.
Also, too, you got to remember Lucy pulled the trigger. on that gun. She was going to shoot him.
Right.
And
That's
I
the
think
scar
to
on his
him,
face too, right?
that was from something else, I think.
Or maybe was it the ghoul that shot him?
I don't remember exactly what
Might
that
have
was
been.
from.
I thought the ghoul shot him.
I think it
'cause
was
she
from the
couldn't
ghoul.
do
Yeah.
it.
Right.
Yeah,
he was hesitating.
But basically I think he still viewed that as a total loss of control over
Exactly.
Lucy.
Exactly.
Like,
Yes.
his manipulation isn't working anymore, so he just left.
Right. His is that what it's called?
It was persuasion.
Persuasion. That's it. His persuasion tactic. Yeah.
His charisma score wasn't high enough
Yes, exactly.
for the persuasion
To keep his
check
family
to work.
together.
Yeah.
It was for so many years.
But Norm's persuasion skill is high as crap because
he's hot hands.
convinced all those people that he was some super race of executive
Which
manager.
is what Buds was all about, wasn't it? To create a super breed.
And they believed it. Hook, line, and sinker. They were like, oh, wow, okay. And he just created a legion of like little worker bees for himself.
He's got
like,
main character vibes.
That's immediately what I was thinking. Man, it must have been a high persuasion check, and he made it because his charisma skill is really high.
So in Shady Sands, we see the NPC has the thing on his neck, right? So he's programmed and he's saying all the things, and that was what he was supposed to do. Obviously, it was painful and it ends up killing him or whatever. But as far as I know, we didn't see his head explode, right? So Hank is experimenting on these mice with the smaller version. Is he actually trying to perfect this, or is he just sadistic and blowing them up?
Yes.
Both.
That's what I made the joke. He's just in there blowing up mice because I didn't see that he was doing anything differently.
Nothing was
to
different.
Change the result.
Thank you.
Getting another mouse and blowing it up over and over again.
Yes.
Like, what
It's
are we
like,
changing?
one of these mice
Like,
won't blow up.
Right.
yeah.
Right.
We'll just keep
if
trying
you
the
keep
same
doing
thing
it over and over again,
eventually it'll work.
Right.
Right.
That's what I was questioning because, it's a common trope where like the one in charge doesn't know how anything actually works. And he's like, oh, I'm going to perfect it. But do you actually know anything about how the technology works? Or are you just taking what other people already did and hoping that one of them works and then trying to say, oh, I figured it out. All you did was blow up 35 mice and then you blew up a guy. Did anything change? Did he make any progress?
Does he,
It didn't
though?
look like he was doing anything.
I forget what he did pre-war.
he was an executive assistant.
Okay, he wasn't a hands-on.
I have no idea. Like they make
Science
it very
dude.
vague.
Well,
Okay.
he introduced himself to Cooper Howard in the later
Yeah.
episodes
Yeah.
of last
I
season.
think he wanted to meet him.
I believe he was an executive assistant.
But he's just a suit,
as well.
not a. Okay.
Yeah. Well,
as far
and
as I
so
can tell.
I had the
Okay.
same question, Rachel.
Yeah.
It dovetails to a question I asked in the last episode. What is all this for? And what is the goal? Because you're seeing he's not making any progress. Then I remember, just like you did, he's an executive assistant of some kind. He's not an engineer.
Yeah.
So
That was my thought, is that does he actually know how any of this works?
right.
Like,
And maybe he does. It's not out of the realm of possibility. But then I thought, okay, wait, it's not working. Like you said, Karina, he's a control freak. And so
Yeah.
maybe he's like, I'm going to do it myself.
yeah.
Fine. I accept that. And that this is going to be just typical of Vault experiments. He's just going to keep doing it. It's not going to have even the desired result is an excuse to pop heads, basically. But,
Basically.
but there is an end goal that he does genuinely want. Because what is Reclamation Day but two things? One is to either clear the surface to make way for the anointed ones, the buds, the
these corporate
Vault-Tech,
lackeys.
basically.
Yeah.
And in lieu of that, or in addition to that, anybody left over, that's what these things are for. The reason why he's cranking it up to 11 when it comes to these mind control things is he wants a sustained ability to control whoever's left on the surface. That's really
Anyone
what it
who
is.
has any dissent, he could just slap one of those things on there and all of a sudden they're a loyal follower. They'll do whatever he asks them to do, or their head will explode, or both.
So it makes me wonder, did he have help with the one that he used on the NPC? I'm going to call him NPC.
Yeah.
The NPC that strolled into town. Well, he was only able to say
Right,
one
because that one
phrase.
did work.
Yeah. That's
Completed
my
its goal.
curiosity too, is that he's gotten two separate ones to work on people, at least for a limited time.
Right. Gretchen's son.
Yeah.
Yep.
Flea soup lady. He can't seem to get any of the mice to sit at the computer mouse. Like, I don't know what the point of that is.
Who's going to make the comments?
Hilarious.
So adorable, I have to say. The cute little terminal, the little tiny
It was
working
cute.
terminal.
I did want to see a little mouse, like the keyboard, like.
It's tapping away.
The worst you get is like him scratching his ear with his hind leg. And then it blew
And then
up,
kaplooey.
obviously.
Poor thing.
Kaplooey.
Yeah.
Kaplooey. And the little tiny water cooler. This big.
Unless the larger size ones work better than the miniature ones, that could be the case.
Which
Yeah.
was his
That the
theory. He's like, okay, I
miniaturization-
guess the big one. We'll use the big one with Steven's head.
Yeah, the normal size one.
He's a
Yeah.
dirtbag.
But yeah, also
Nobody
too,
will
like
miss him.
why did he bother to thaw that guy out if not just to blow up his head? Because he didn't seem to need him for anything. He just woke him up, admonished him for not saving his family, and then blew him up. Like,
I'll get into the deeper specifics of that in a minute, but going back to the what is this all about? It did sort of work, right? Maybe that's what made him think that it could work, is that for these two people, one in the past, one in the present, it worked for a period of time. But the goal really is to have a sustained, lasting, not head popping device that will work on everybody consistently. And that's really what it's all about. We're not talking about limited time where everybody eventually their heads will pop. They want a subservient populace that is willing to just buy whatever poop they're trying to push. A slave class, essentially, I guess is the goal here.
yeah, essentially, I think that's what they're doing.
I'm basing this off of the little tiny little mouse cage. Maybe people that'll be by terminals and water coolers, and that's all they'll do.
Yeah. So I have some in-game
Ooh.
insight for this. So at the
Cool.
beginning of Fallout 4, specifically, you can see that people are rioting because inflation is crazy. There's no resources, there's no food. Everything is going to heck in a handbasket.
Heck.
And yeah, I want to be
Blasphemous?
appropriate.
All right.
Yeah, so everything is kind of falling apart, and the working class is suffering the most, and they're rebelling, destroying factories, going around
Mr. Handies.
setting fire to stuff. Yeah, they're busting up the robot companies and everything because they're seeing this elite class of people living high on the hog, and they're scraping by for everything. When you pick up magazines in the game, they're like $35. They're insanely expensive.
Well,
And
imagine paying
yeah.
that much for a magazine.
and that's my point. Yeah, so inflation had gotten so crazy, and to a much lesser extent, we can see that happening in our own lives where we're paying $4 for a carton of eggs, and that's not affordable for a lot of
Yeah.
people.
It's a deal. What are you talking about? I live in New York
$4.
City, everybody.
Right. No, yeah. But like at some point, people, especially the working class and the lower income people, are going to get fed up with it, especially when they see other people living their best life, having their robot servants do everything for them, where their jobs have been taken away by robots for who knows how long, and they can't afford to feed their families or just get by. So there was a lot of uprising in the period right before the bombs fell. So this kind of makes sense, this line of research that they're doing where they're trying to make a subservient lower class that won't be upset by whatever their station in life is or whatever lot they're given to just work and not complain, and they won't rise up no matter how good the upper class has it. They'll just continue to work, and that rioting uprising won't happen again.
If you think about it, what Hank is working on is the premise of Severance, basically. If you've ever watched
just
Apple
thinking the
TV
same thing.
Severance.
Uh-huh.
So
Yeah.
it's like that. Except no alternate personality or
Yeah.
alternate being that you're creating as a
Right.
result. It's like you just switch off
You don't get to go home after work.
and you don't switch on ever again. So yeah, exactly. It's like Severance, but not at all like Severance.
But forever.
Yeah, it's
I've
like
never
having
seen
your head
Severance.
popped, but it's still on and doing
Popped
things.
but not popped.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's a glitch in the game.
Sorry.
So Bethesda's famous for having a lot of really weird glitches, and it happens more often in Skyrim, but it has happened in Fallout too, where something goes awry where your character can get their head blown off or cut off, but somehow it doesn't actually kill you, so you're alive, but you have no head. And so it's a weird state to be in.
I love
Like,
this.
it usually crashes the game right afterwards, so it only lasts for a little while, but it was kind of funny. It just reminded me of that glitch because it's happened to me a couple of times.
That is funny.
I'm a better person for knowing that, actually.
For one of the many Bethesda glitches.
So Francisco just joined us in the chat. Am I
Hey.
late to join in? I just finished the episode. Right, because we BS'd basically for
late.
40 minutes.
Yay.
I blame
Yeah,
myself.
no, you're not too late.
Oh, we're still
We're
talking.
basically halfway through.
Hello.
Yeah, hello.
It's great to have Francisco back again in the chat.
It is.
To see the chaos. I think most of we've been all chaosed out. We got a lot of the chaos out in the
Yeah, we've been
beginning.
kind of jumping around. We haven't really
Yeah.
stayed on topic.
I'm losing
at
some
all.
serious steam right
No.
now. too.
Well, I'm interested to know some of Francisco's favorite points from this episode.
Yes.
Maybe there'll be something that we didn't talk about.
In addition to some of the things we said earlier about Hank, and two things can be true. Yes, it's about Rose and leaving him, but really breaking up the family.
Yeah.
But also control, right? Control. We have
Mhm.
to control the family. You have to also control maybe Vault-Tech's trajectory to reclamation date. I feel like in some way he may have abandoned that in lieu of his family. Like, I'm never going to revive these people. You never know. It's not a working theory. Let's go to the part where he takes out Steven, because he says some very, very interesting things.
Mm.
I'm going to say them one by one because the second thought kind of answers the first thought, but I'm really curious. Again, ominous dialogue that may lead to bigger things later, as is custom with this show at the very least. Before I say it, that sequence of scenes, so it goes to Hank, then it goes to Norm, then it goes to Lucy, then it goes back to Norm again. It's the McLean family. It goes from one scene to the next, just with the McLeans. Lucy and the Legionnaire, speaking Latin, blah, blah, blah. She says a kind profligate, a kind waste of resources is a profligate. Anyway, it goes back to Vault 31 to Norm, then goes to Hank, then goes to Lucy again, with the wood, right? Then Norm and the assistants escaping the vault. Okay, then it goes back to finally brothers. I just thought it was kind of cool that they had several scenes of the McLean family. Okay, so here are the lines that Hank says. I just wanted to mention that thing as a side note because it was darting between these McLean family members. So he gives this monologue to Steven, who's still groggy, obviously. That's more for us than it is for Steven. His name is Steven Winthrop, just like very nice elite name. He says, so much has changed since you went under, but it's what stayed the same that concerns me. Very cryptic delivery on that. And he says, old habits, I guess. Let's go to the second line, and they'll give us a little bit more insight on the first line. He basically says that civilization itself is the outdated piece of technology that he's trying to improve. But if at first you don't succeed, then Steven's head pops. Try again. So going back to the first line, so much has changed since you went under, but it's what stayed the same that concerns me. I just wanted to know what you might have thought he might have been referring to. Is it civilization? Is it the way we are as human beings? And it kind of goes back to Lucy and the golden rule. And then Maximus, we'll go to that eventually, but his golden rule. Just want to get your general thoughts about what he means by that.
Even though they're sealed in a vault and they've got total control over this whole community, his wife still managed to stray away from the family and sort
Lucy's
of break up the
obstinate.
family. Yeah, so it didn't even matter that he had total control over everything. That still failed. You remember Rose left because he was lying to her, and she found out that there's no reason for them to be holed up in this vault when there's workable civilization outside the vault. But he didn't want to have that. And so, again, he wanted to exert control. I think the part that concerns him is that even though he had all the control he could possibly have, it still slipped away from him.
I wonder, though, if he felt like in his own way, knowing full well what it's like on the top side, and maybe it's just perception, we get to see a little bit of that. Nora goes topside, and the execs are like, oh, it's so dirty. Where's the mall? It was over there when I came in here. He's like, it's beautiful. And so following in his mother's footsteps, but Hank maybe goes up and sees, oh, they're just terrible to each other. He must have gotten the device somehow. Maybe he had one in Vault 31. Maybe he didn't. Let's just say that he may have gone back to that Vault-Tech R&D facility and got the device to put on the Mojave NPC guy, whatever. Right. There's a lot of assumptions. So he knows what it's like. And the NCR, they're trying. Oh, it's so adorable. He's like, it's not beautiful. Rose goes up there and sees, yeah, it's great. And then Moldaver, I fell in love with her, blah, blah, blah. So it's perceptions. And even Lucy's having a reckoning too. There's a little bit of both. It's like, it's terrible, but I'm still not going to let go of being who I am.
Was Rose also frozen, or was she born and raised in the vault? And then
right. That's what I was going to get to, but yes.
Okay. And then Hank obviously woke up because the people who are coming out of that vault and they're like, oh, everything's but Norm's never seen this. He's never been outside the vault. He was born in there and lived his whole entire life. So it makes sense that Rose would have the same reaction. Oh, it's beautiful out here. But if she's never seen it, she has no comparison to what it was before, just like Norm.
Lucy didn't have that reaction on her first time out on the surface. She was very
not necessarily.
Yeah. She wasn't as taken with it.
She was kind of like, ugh. She, in her own flashback, she was at Shady Sands. She didn't know she was at Shady Sands, but she imagined it, or she thought she imagined it, whatever. And so if you were at Shady Sands and all you known is a vault, you'd be kind of like, this is great. Open space, little greenery, actual greenery, sunlight. It could be good out
Real
here.
sun.
This is what I was getting to, by the way, was that I could see a world in which Hank really thought to himself, I know what it's like up there. I know what it was like before. And maybe this could be going to what he says here in the dialogue to Steven, whose head is going to pop anyway. Probably. He's thinking, maybe it won't, but it probably will. And I won't cry about it. He made his own idyllic world with his family. And I could see a world in which, even though he has these controlled tendencies, that he made a world in which it wasn't like before. It's definitely not like what it's up there. So maybe in his own way, it was like my blue heaven, literally, with blue Vault-Tec suits, Fallout shelter suits, Vault 33. And so that was ruined. That life is over. And maybe that's what the dialogue goes to, is that I guess that's how things are. That's how people are. They'll betray you in the end. And really, it's him losing control, like you said, Karina.
Yeah. If it's him seeing how people are just terrible to each other, he's the one who, as he was going across the wasteland, killing everyone. Yeah, like
Literally
killing and stepping on people on the way through. And it's like, okay, well, if you think that the world is a terrible place because people treat each other badly, what kind of example are you setting?
And using people.
Yeah, Lucy's doing a much better job of setting a standard of moral superiority than anyone else.
Exactly.
Oh, obviously. Yes. Francisco says, nice pajamas, Dave. LOL. He also says, I'm honestly loving Maximus. I wish he was like this in season 1, a leader. Yes, I like that we're seeing both sides of him, though. Maximus had to go through what he went through in order to become a leader. And I think we're going to see a lot more from him because it doesn't seem like he's liking the direction that Quintus is going. Francisco also said, I didn't like Lucy picking some woman in the hospital she barely knows over the ghoul who's been saving her or been her companion. It felt like a gamer decision.
I feel like that has to do with the fact that he just slit some guy's throat for no apparent reason seconds before that. So her decision from her point of view is justified. I was saying the ghoul was 100% justified in what he did because those people are Legion and the Legion is the worst.
It was also a practical decision.
Right.
Yeah.
Because Ghoul's going to heal from this. And
yeah, he'll be fine.
What she says.
He was also hungry.
Rad scorpion poison will melt your health bar in seconds. So honestly, if it was a gamer decision, I would choose my companion over the girl that I don't know. But
Lucy didn't know what she was getting into.
That's true.
Lucy's making a decision based on what she knows of the world. And she's about to find out it was a bad decision.
And again, I would like to just restate that a lot of this could be avoided if the ghoul would simply explain himself. Most of the time, he just says things and expects her to just listen to him because he's got more experience. From a narrative standpoint, I understand why that's the case. But from a personal standpoint, I know people who do this too.
In real life?
Yeah, listen to me because I said so. Okay, well, can you just explain it to me so that I can understand why I'm following these directions? Because I'm not going to want to if you don't explain why. But if you explain why, then I might be more willing to do so. Also, if he would have explained, hey, these people are Legion, I've had dealings with them in the past, and they're pretty horrible people. And if she chose to ignore him at that point, that would have made more sense to me because she's making a willful decision to be different than him. He's like, well, I don't know that these people are bad, so I'm going to save them. But he didn't explain himself. He cut the guy's throat, which was shocking and horrible. And of course, she's going to now think, what a heinous thing that he just did. I'm not going to save him over this girl who needs help.
Yeah.
I understand why she did what she did based on how things played out, but it annoyed me.
On both ends of the scale, too.
Francisco also says, it's crazy how you can have the world in your hands, but also be responsible to tell people what to do in a new civilization in the vault. Yeah, it is crazy.
It's a lot of power, too. So I can see what you're saying, Francisco. It's easy to miss the fact that this guy has all the cards. Hank has all the power in the world, in charge of Reclamation Day, etc., etc.
Francisco says, I wish we saw Culkin showing up on this episode because it was during Christmas. Ha 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 ha. I guess next week he will show up. Wait, for real?
You didn't know that?
No.
Macaulay Culkin's cast.
Macaulay Culkin's got a cameo?
Yeah, I think he's, as far as we know,
he's a
he's
cameo or if he's going to be a main player, but
yeah.
What? I did not know this. I was super excited for the end of this episode.
Yeah.
He was the first actor cast that we know of.
We knew, but I forgot until I saw him, and I'm like, gee,
people about and everything. Well, there was also a promotional shot of he and Kyle MacLachlan. Now I have to include this in the edit. In Fallout themed Christmas sweaters, wishing everybody. This was actually after Christmas. too. So it was like,
Mhm.
hey, we didn't get this out on time, but here's a picture of Kyle MacLachlan and Macaulay Culkin saying Merry Christmas. This is the Fallout on Prime Twitter account. It's cute.
Francisco also wants to know how he avoided the death claws on the way to New Vegas.
Hank, probably.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or even Lucy and the Ghoul still too. They're
Yeah.
not still on their way, but
I feel like they haven't quite gotten close to New Vegas yet.
I think, by the way, the NPC on the Brahmin, he's obviously towing a nuke. I did see some talons on the back of the caravan, which I think might be Deathclaw talons.
Yeah,
Hmm.
you can collect them and craft gauntlet with them.
Oh.
So yeah.
Okay, I thought
At
it was
least
going to
in
be the
Fallout
Deathclaw
4.
stakes or something.
Well, yeah, you can also make Deathclaw stakes, but yeah, if you grab talons from them, if they drop them, you can create a gauntlet, and it does piercing damage. Just have to have a pretty high strength score to use it, so I don't usually make characters who do that, but
Your characters are more norms than they are.
yeah, definitely more norm.
Maximuses,
I
I
like
guess.
to be able to hack into the computers, and I like to be able to craft things and have good persuasion checks and stuff like that.
So your character is David Cameo.
I didn't allocate points into those things rather than strength. I did play a strength-based character, and it was fun, but it was a little one-dimensional. Just go up and hit stuff, which can be fun on its own, but it's not how I like to play the game.
it's not.
It's just, by the way, if you really want to laugh, just search for videos where the gamer cranked down the intelligence score.
Oh my
to
gosh,
basically
they're
nothing.
so funny.
It's the most funny thing you've ever heard.
I love that the
They
game
just can't have any
compensates for
conversation.
that. No, and some of the NPCs will just get frustrated with you and just complete the mission without you doing anything because you're too dumb to figure out the combination of sentences that you need.
And alternatively, some of them will just assume they know what you're trying to say. And so the game keeps rolling on, even though you're going, whatever, like dumb caveman talk. That's literally what your character.
So funny.
Because the game is aware that you're going to be an idiot and turn it all the way down. And so it treats
Why
your
would
character
you
in
do
kind.
that though?
Because
For the
For the fun of it.
Just for
To
just
have
for fun.
fun, yeah.
Okay.
To give the game
Fun.
I'm like,
playability.
is
You
there
can do what you want.
any benefit to that whatsoever?
Yeah, you're
Wow.
amused.
There's some perks or some things that will only happen if your intelligence is extremely low. I can't think of any specifics because
Okay.
I've never done it myself, but
Okay.
they're few and far between. Most of the enjoyment is going to be just for
Comedy.
the fun of it because, for comedy, because it'll be hilarious.
I'm posting
Okay.
this now, but Francisco says
It's all about the perks.
perks, baby.
It's all about perks.
Let's read the rest of these. Yeah, I agree. The ghoul still is very secretive for what he knows, punching the goalpost. And he says, yep, he's a member of Kaiser's Legion. Kaiser's
Legion. Talking about Macaulay Culkin,
Yeah,
I think.
yeah.
Yeah.
You see him in his little
Oh,
outfit.
okay.
His little outfit. What am I? Anyway,
Outfit.
probably a general is what Francisco
Probably,
says.
yeah.
Okay.
You plan a
Well,
nuke
like it.
outside that kills families while you raise your own in a vault. Seems playing with genocide is like fun. Yeah, it's Fallout. Come on.
Yeah.
Get with it, Francisco. Nukes are fun. Doing things just because you can. See, genocide is fun.
Oh, yeah.
Francisco, don't quote me out of context.
Mm,
So again, how does a title relate to this episode? The golden rule. And particularly the fights. What the dude challenging Maximus referred to as mashing. I bet I could mash you.
Yeah.
Which is why I put my subtitle as I bet I could mash you.
I love that Max was like, yeah, probably.
And then walks away because
Just-
he's like,
he's like, I
I'm
don't want to
kinda done.
try to find out. Like,
Like, I don't really want to do that.
I'm like, probably.
He was trying to pull a holier than thou Lucy check, and that did not apparently clear when faced with imminent danger.
What is Dan's problem? He's looking at Max like he didn't just have to save his own life. He did not have a choice but to kill the guy. Max didn't want to fight the guy. He got thrown
Yeah,
into this.
he did everything he could to avoid that fight. And he just
and then
got
the guy
sucked
was
into it.
going to murder him. So then Max
Yeah.
killed him. And then he was like, I'm disappointed in you, and walked away. I was like, what?
Like, how dare you defend yourself? Like,
Right.
Yeah, of course he would say that, Rob. Of course. What choice did he have? Well, he could have just walked away. He really could have.
could he have, though? Did
I don't think he
could
could
he
have. I think he was
I think he tried
going to
to.
be thrown into it whether he wanted to or not.
Quintus. He gave him a look.
Yeah, he kind of pressured him into it. Like, you should be doing this because you're a leader
Because
now.
that's
like,
what we would all do.
It
yeah.
almost made me wonder if he set this up.
That's sort of
yeah.
what I was heading towards.
He was totally
Yeah.
okay with him dying.
He couldn't hear the conversation that was happening, so how did he know what was going on unless he was privy to it?
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Or like it's an obvious cultural thing. Also, think about how we were first introduced to Maximus. His little first thing we saw was him getting a beat down. as if that was a thing that just happens, and it does.
Yeah.
A lot of mashing.
Yeah, it's a big
going
part
on.
of the boss culture.
Exactly.
Such a
Steal,
weird
like,
way to phrase that.
It's
boss
like
culture.
that actually answers the question we asked: what does it mean to be raped by the right people?
Right.
Brotherhood. Not the
No.
Cultural standpoint.
getting
yeah.
beat up by the right people is really what it is.
Yeah.
See, the wrong people
Aye.
would not be the Brotherhood.
You don't
Who's
want
gonna
to get beat
by
up by a legionnaire. You don't want to get beat up by a
Absurd.
raider. You want to. If you're going to get your butt kicked, it should be one of your brothers.
one of your own. Yeah.
Yeah.
But this guy's not, right?
No, he
He's-
is.
No, he's part of.
part of
Oh,
the
I thought he
Brotherhood,
came
he's just a different
with one of the
faction of it.
other. Oh, okay. Okay, thank you.
He's
Yeah.
part of Coronado. Actually,
Okay.
it says it in the X-ray. He's He's a Coronado
Yeah.
Knight. Basically,
Okay.
From that
Yeah, so he's
faction.
from
But
a
he did
different
come from
faction,
one of
but-
the other. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's still part of Brotherhood. I had a thought about joining different factions in the game. Sometimes you'll end up having to do things that you don't want to do, or things that you don't care about. Like Max, again, going on the fetch quest. He's going through the motions because he's part of this faction. And then he's getting roped into these one-on-one fights that he doesn't want to have anything to do with. He's having to deal with people that are annoying him, messing around with the grenade, which, by the way, triggered me because the sound that it makes is the same sound that the Super Mutant Suiciders make, and I was really nervous in the whole
Ooh.
thing. So the Super Mutant Suiciders in Fallout 4, they carry mini nukes, and that sound that the grenade was making when it was like
Oh.
beeping
Mhm.
faster and faster is the sound that they make. And most often, I can never tell where they are. I can just hear the sound getting closer and closer to me. And if you don't kill them before they get too close, they will blow you up.
Mhm.
And a mini nuke has a pretty good range. Back to Max. He seemed annoyed or disillusioned or some combination of both throughout
Mhm.
this entire episode. He's part of this faction. He's gaining ranks in this faction. It's not all it's cracked up to be. He's starting to realize this isn't the life that he thought it was going to be. He's not as satisfied with it. And it kind of reminded me of like in game, you join a faction and you're like, you know what? I don't know if this was the right choice. I'm now getting roped into fights I don't want to be in, doing quests I don't want to do, having to deal with people that are annoying to me. And also at the same time, trying to be a symbol of what a good knight should be. He's got his page or whatever that's helping him. He's like, why are you doing that? Why are you washing your face? And he's like, well, you're supposed to better yourself so that you can better the rest of the world. And he's trying to impart good knowledge to this kid, but at the same time, he's now in this fight and the kid is getting completely the wrong message that I don't think that Max would have wanted to give him. So
Can
It's
you
kinda that
leave a
catch-22.
faction if you're?
you can't really leave a faction, but you can progress other faction quest lines to the point where your current faction quest line will fail permanently. So it's the closest you get to leaving. So
Okay.
basically, in New Vegas, you can choose to support both NCR and Legion at the same time, but at some point, you're going to have to complete a mission that negates the other faction quests.
Okay.
For example, taking Hoover Dam, you're going to have to choose a side, and whoever you choose to side with, the other one will fail. That's the closest you get.
I wonder if we're going to see something like that with Maximus.
Potentially, if he decides to ultimately side with Lucy,
Mhm.
or do something against what the Brotherhood would want, that would be the equivalent of failing that quest line. So essentially you're locked out of the rest of it. He could fail his Brotherhood quest line, absolutely.
Well, do you think also some of the things he tries to impart on the trainee or whatever you want to call it, they establish that he's quoting the codex to Dane as
Mhm.
Dane walks in and all that. So he knows of the text of the
Mhm.
Brotherhood of Steel, at least. Yeah, they all have they all have a codex that they abide by.
Mhm.
Fine. But I think when he talks about breaking down a big problem, making it small, that's not the Brotherhood.
No.
It's literally his dad. His dad,
So I think
you
that's
see,
like a
is an
personal
engineer.
code.
Mhm.
That's literally what I do every day as an engineer.
Mhm.
I take a huge problem, break it down to small parts so that, and like he says in the episode, his actual father, not Quintus, big jerk. He says something to the effect of, as long as we leave, because he says this as he's saying goodbye to his son. He's saying,
As long as we leave the world a little bit better than we found it.
but in the
Mhm.
context of it's a rough world out there.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But yeah, as long as we leave it a little bit better than we found it. And then he says goodbye to him, etc.
I didn't expect that scene to get to me.
I
Yeah.
know. It was
Well,
just
I
sad.
did
it's
not
like
think it was going to hit me like that.
That
knowing you're gonna
sneaky,
die leaving
like-
your child behind, like that's gonna
Yeah.
get any, especially a
Uh-huh.
parent, that's gonna get you in the feels.
And that's
Okay.
their version of that too, because
Yeah.
hey,
Yeah.
we can't save ourselves, but as long as we get save that little bit of us,
Mhm.
it can go on.
It's their version of leaving the world a little better than they found it, because he's like, you're a great kid and you're going to be a great man someday. And they have full confidence that he's going to be a positive change in the world. So they can essentially die knowing that they've done their part, even though they're not ready for it to be over with. They can kind of have a little bit of solace in knowing that Max is going to go forth and become a great man and possibly do great things. But that also calls into question whether Max is on the right path to do that, because I know that he joined the Brotherhood because he felt like that was the best way to create a better world, because that's what they're saying they're doing. But from what I know, in game, the Brotherhood tends to hoard technology and not let anyone else use it. So they're not actually improving the world for everyone. They're just improving the world for themselves. So
But it's not
I don't know if
obvious.
Max is going to realize that at some point. I think he's starting to, because they've had this whole war council now. They're plotting a civil war, which I'm sure is not something that he ever wanted to be a part of, because how are you going to make the world better if you're fighting amongst yourselves?
Well, and then the one Yosemite chapter lady from the Brotherhood says something to the effect of, well, we're not supposed to lift up arms against another brother, but it's open to interpretation.
Right.
And then he sees what's going on back and forth. It's like they're not trying to even hide it. It's that holier than thou kind of, well, you're going to do what we say anyway, because that's how we are. They're openly saying to everybody within earshot what they're going to do. It's literally contrary to what Quintus just said about the things that he retrieved in his fetch quest. Oh, it's to find a new home. Everybody's to find guys. Leading him to think, okay, wait, am I incrementally improving the world? Maybe in some ways, but this seems like a big step in the wrong direction.
Yeah.
Doesn't that negate all the little steps?
Yeah, essentially they found the key to Area 51. They uncovered it, and imagine all of the technology that obviously they're playing with a lot of it. The grenade, the guns. They find a frozen Zayden in the
working icebox.
fridge.
A what?
A real icebox.
That was my favorite part.
Yeah, they don't care about the alien.
No, say what you
a real
said. Did you say what did you say? Zayden?
It's a Zayden, yeah. So Fallout 3 has a DLC called Mothership Zeta.
Oh, as in Zeta, like the Greek.
Yeah, Zeta.
Zeta.
Yep.
Yeah, okay, gotcha.
And so the Zaydens are the actual aliens, so that you can encounter them occasionally. In Fallout 4, there's a random encounter. I think it happens after you reach level 20, where a UFO will crash land, and then you can go find where the alien crawled into a cave to hide, and you can take the alien blaster, which is a really powerful weapon. So we have to kill the alien first. So aliens are real in Fallout.
Physics says icebox more important than aliens. Yeah. Well, to
Exactly.
the Brotherhood.
Yeah. To your daily life, what is more important, the knowledge that aliens exist, or the fact that you can keep your food fresh for a long time when every day is a struggle to survive?
Yeah.
Well, it also makes me think, because of what Karina just said, the aliens are an in-game thing. So obviously this is something that they've already encountered, because they don't care about seeing it.
Possibly, yeah. Or again,
You know,
they're not thinking of it in that context. They're
I
just
didn't
like,
think
"Ooh,
of that,
Xbox."
Rachel.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. You see one alien, Area 51, you've seen them all.
Right.
50,
Exactly,
51,
whatever.
52. There could be more than one. We don't know. This universe is different than ours. Rachel,
Yeah.
I gotta hand it to you. Maybe some more
Aliens
aliens
are old
crash
news.
landed.
Yeah, they
No?
didn't care. Oh, meh.
As long as they have technology, we have to take it. Also,
Yeah.
like the ghoul, getting in our way, violence, cutting of throats.
Okay, the Brotherhood hoarding their technology, they're not really any better than Vault Tech.
Right.
No, not at all.
I think that's a common theme, is that no matter what faction you side with, they all have their own personal goals and shortcomings. Everything is a little bit flawed. There's no perfect side to take. So any choice that you make is going to have consequences. And I'm talking about any game that you play as well. New Vegas, NCR is not perfect. Legion, far from perfect. There are better choices to make than others. You can also fight for a free New Vegas as well, so you don't have to let any faction take control. You can free New Vegas to just be its own thing.
So then, Hank's commentary to Stephen Winthrop, the Elite Premium Plus cryo bed user, was more targeted towards the audience. Essentially, he's basically saying people are the same all over. They have their own self-interest. Factions are the same all over. There's drawbacks, and they're all the same. Having the mind control device changes all that.
Right.
Well, it's what we decide is all the same, basically, in exactly the same way. The things people say in the show that are kind of a little extra or kind of that you have to kind of wonder exactly who that's for. And so I think you've just helped me figure that out. Who is that statement for? That's for us. Pay attention to these golden rule people. It's the same rules, the power tripping of the Brotherhood to civil war against the Commonwealth, which, by the way, when they said the Commonwealth, I immediately thought of the version of the Brotherhood of Steel that's out in the eastern part of the country that tries to help humanity. The thing that Maximus might be drawing upon, but isn't really, it's his dad. Is that them? The Commonwealth?
Yes. So Commonwealth is basically the whole of the East Coast Brotherhood of Steel, which
Shut
is
the front door.
Yeah. So they are more
Benevolent.
They adhere more to the idea that they're trying to help the world, though they do still make decisions about who should have certain technologies, which can be flawed on its own. Because if you decide that a group of rabble in Boston shouldn't have water purification
100%.
technology. Yeah, like obviously. Like,
screw those guys.
Yeah. They usually say like, okay, well the weapons obviously should come to us because we're the ones that need them and nobody else should have them. Now you leave settlements undefended, which is where the Minutemen come in, where they have a civil militia basically that go around and protect these settlements and try to build up the Commonwealth. But yeah, they're referring to the Commonwealth Brotherhood of Steel. You can meet Elder Maxon, which is the leader of the Commonwealth boss outfit in Fallout 4. And yeah, they're a little bit more benevolent, but again, still flawed in their decision making.
Yeah, see, you just said it though, Karina. You can pick a faction, but they're still going to have their quirks and flaws, and it's not going to be great.
Well, for example, as I mentioned in the last episode, Nick Valentine is my favorite NPC sidekick, and the Brotherhood of Steel doesn't like synths. They think that they're
abominations.
Evil, and they don't consider them to be people because they're machines, which I could see the argument, but if you spend any time with Nick Valentine, you're going to change your mind. So it's hard to be aligned with the Brotherhood if you're going to have Nick in your party because they're opposed to each other. Like I said, the Brotherhood is not perfect. So if you have this whole we love everybody attitude like Lucy, it's not going to jive well with the Brotherhood.
Right. Well, let's go to Francisco's comment because it kind of works really well. He says, I would pick anyone besides living in a vault. Someone would try to control me and make me a communist? No way, dude.
Oh, yeah.
As in
That's
Vault
talking about
24.
last episode. Yeah.
But I actually make the argument that the Brotherhood of Steel is sort of the same way. They're sort of communist. Specifically the sense that I will take away anything technology related, hoard it for ourselves, and use it when I feel like it. At least the West Mojave, whatever contingent. They're all fighting over scraps in the desert, basically. Think of all the names that they said. Yosemite, Grand Canyon, Coronado, and then the fourth one was...
Mojave area.
The fourth one is the one that we know.
Mojave,
Mojave, right. Communist, right. Rules for thee, but not for me. You don't get the technology, we get the technology. It's the same as the communist playbook is to take away the guns, the forms of revolution that would normally be used against an authoritarian power. So no, there's no need for that. We are the state. We'll take care of you, blah, blah, blah. No, we take away your ability to fight against us when we become totalitarian. That sort of playbook. It's the same thing happening here. And I think that's what gets Maximus turned off. He's like, wait, we're not doing good here. We're just taking power, literally taking power and actually giving it to people whom we deem, right? More power than you could ever dream of in your lifetimes. Is that what he says to all these factions? Yeah, sign me up. All these values that I thought I had, I wrote down the archetypes of each of these groups. Yosemite is Brotherhood of Steel in name only. Sort of. They know the rules, but it's like, yeah, well, whatever. It gives us protection. The name is great. Who cares? Coronado is extremists. Like, they don't even let women talk. Right? Grand Canyon is completely libertarians. They're like, to rule ourselves as we see fit. No taxation without representation. And also the squire effing the robot.
Yeah, that was one guy.
No judgment. It's fine. We're libertarians.
Which again, like I said, Brotherhood of Steel on the East Coast would be very against something like that. That would be a huge problem.
Isn't that typical? And then soon as they're like, well, the Commonwealth lets us do what we want. The Great Grand Canyon chapter says it's fine, whatever. But as soon as they heard that we can have unlimited power, a literal fusion reactor, is that what it is?
Yeah, the fusion core,
Which, let's jive on this point, let's vibe with this, is the fact that they have cold fusion. Isn't that what helps them make these
energy cores,
fusion reactors? Yeah, exactly. That's what helps them do that, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
They can just make as many as they want and just resupply as many as they want.
They dropped
Because
all their
again, that's
values.
a very, very limited resource in game. Your power suit requires draining one constantly while you're moving, and it only lasts so long. So you have to choose your battles wisely with the suit on. You can't just run around.
Like in the game.
Yeah, just play a bunch of stupid games with the grenade. Like,
Making that sound that triggers you.
oh my God. I was so much like Max in that scene where he's like yanking the grenade away from them. Like, stop. Like, what are you doing?
It's so
Like,
fun.
you're about to blow everybody up, dumbass.
First
Like,
time I played Fallout, I drained my power armor so fast and didn't realize
Yeah.
why. And I was so upset.
What aren't I doing?
Need new energy cores or fusion cores.
Which game was this in Fallout 4?
That was Fallout 4
It's an-
for me.
Yeah.
Just checking.
I think that it uses them in any game. So
I wanted to know
need
his
a-
pain. I wanted to identify
Yeah.
specifically.
Fallout 4
where
was
the
the
game-
first one I played, yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
brothers. Yeah, they all dropped the values. The Grand Canyon guy was like all about, no, that's America for you.
Mhm.
But really, is it if you're dropping all your values to subjugate your own people or to subjugate the world, really, as you know
Yeah.
it, because of power? You're just wielding the Brotherhood as a cudgel. There's nothing altruistic about you in your codex. Come on. It's open to
Yeah.
interpretation, isn't it?
Right.
But then
All the rules are flexible.
the Commonwealth comes in and Xander Harkness.
Xander Harkness, yeah.
In my notes, I read, then Camille Nanjiani just pops in out of nowhere.
Yeah, basically.
He's so much larger than life now.
Yeah.
I wonder
Anyway.
how he got the memo.
I looked up if Paladin Harkness was an in-game character because I hadn't heard of him. There is an in-game character named Harkness,
I had a
but
feeling.
it's completely different. I don't think it's the same character. So the Harkness from Fallout 3 is a synth who's had his
Ooh.
memory wiped
Hmm.
and doesn't know that he's a synth. And he
Aw.
starts a new life in Rivet City. He escaped from the Institute via the Railroad, which is a faction that helps synths escape the Institute and start new lives with implanted memories so that they're safe from the Institute because they don't know that they're synths. So Harkness is that character that it's like a whole side quest where
I
you
didn't
can...
pay attention to the eyes, though.
So I don't think it's the same character because it's completely different situation. He's not part of the Brotherhood of Steel at all. So I think they're just using the name because Harkness isn't that uncommon of a name. I've heard it before. So
Well, we know they don't like synths, right? That's like their whole thing.
exactly.
Yeah.
So
Specifically,
that
yeah.
would be a
Yeah.
very cool twist if he did turn out to be a synth and didn't know it. I'm doubtful that it's the same character.
Well, it also exposes certain hypocrisies about the Brotherhood, too.
Right.
Yes, it would.
And maybe they do. Wait, maybe they do. And that's kind of the irony is that they do, but they let it slide because as long as it keeps them in power.
He chose to join this talk of mutiny in Civil War, so he could have regained his memories as a synth and decided that the Brotherhood had a hypocrisy going on and wants to join them.
We also have to ask who told them about this meeting.
Yep.
We do.
Yeah.
That's a great.
Mhm.
But I guess we're going to find it's literally
How
the
did he
last
find
thing we
out?
saw, right? I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
He
the
just
episode-
showed up and was
Yep.
like, I'm from
And
the
I didn't get an
Commonwealth. Let's talk."
invitation
It
to
was
this
Yeah.
Dane.
civil war
My
you're
invitation.
planning.
Yeah.
It was Dane.
Let me just say to your point, Karina, about that twist that maybe he is, but he doesn't know it, or maybe they do know it and they let it slide.
Yeah.
I like that, Chris. That twist, Karina. Francisco
Mm.
says in all caps, and then he
Yeah.
says, "Give us synths."
Yes.
I want.
I
synths.
really want to see a synth. I mean, I think we kind of did in the first season. There was that one vendor that Max had to sell his teeth to
Right.
to get something fixed. I think that was a synth.
Maybe.
Possibly, or just a cybernetically enhanced person, which is also a thing. Hard to tell.
We missed a couple of comments from Francisco. Let's go back to them.
Francisco says, I can't wait to see the Institute in the future of Fallout series. I'm sure they will show them more since they're already foreshadowing Boston in the first episode with the Starlight Drive.
Mm-hmm.
Driving, yeah.
I don't know what any of that means.
I made mention that the Starlight Drive-In is a location that you can settle in Fallout 4, which is in Boston, and I wasn't sure if Starlight Drive-In was just a...
Nod or
Yeah, like, is it a nod to that game, or is
Okay.
it a franchise? And so there's one in the Mojave as well, like, I don't know.
This is where we saw the now showing da-da-da. and
yeah,
everything.
Yes.
Super
Okay, okay.
Howard. Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
A commenter had also said they agree with you, Karina, that it may well be a franchise.
Right.
So I just wanted to mention that. I don't have the
Oh, okay.
commenter's name off the top of
Okay.
my head, but it's nice.
Sort of like you see the same Red Rocket refueling company. It's a gas station, so they're all over
Okay.
the country. So it might just be a franchise of drive-ins.
Francisco also says, I mean, at least the Brotherhood of Steel, you have a choice, right? It's like doing military service. Not everyone is going to like it. And when you dislike it, it's too late.
Yeah.
It's usually how it goes, though, Francisco.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I mean, if you're unlucky.
He goes on to say Brotherhood of Steel can also be very gray in emotions. They really don't know what they are, and they're a blurred line there, I think.
Lines get blurry
Yeah.
with them.
Yeah.
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 What they're doing in the show, at least here, is pretty overtly. This is going back to It Welcome to Derry. So strap in, folks. In It Welcome to Derry, General Shaw obviously pulls the move of, well, obviously I'm going to use the entity to give fear across America so that people just buckle down and become nice to each other again. And Bridget was like, that's when he turned evil. And I was like, well, I get why a person like him would feel that way, because it's supposed to be relatable, right? You're supposed to understand what motivates somebody to go down that road. And they showed us in a way that I could accept that. It still doesn't justify what he's doing, because we know more than General Shaw obviously knows. He knows a lot, but he doesn't know everything.
He knew a lot of people were going to die and was going to do it anyway.
You know, he had an encounter and that was it. And he was like, well, if I survived that encounter, maybe everybody else could.
He's not killing any more people than cars do.
He's not wrong, but I say all this just to say,
I don't agree with him, just to be clear. I'm just
none of us really agree with him, but from his point of view, could we?
Right.
We were, because we were the holdouts that were like, I get
like,
one.
I get it.
No, bad
Anyway,
man.
but the Brotherhood of Steel is like, well, from your point of view, Brotherhood of Steel, I kind of understand what you're saying, but also now this is like the obvious we're evil move.
Do bad for
I say
good.
the Brotherhood is more evil than General Shaw was. General Shaw just didn't know. They know what they're doing. They know they're also going to commit civil war.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In what for? For power. Literally. Wasn't that the question that we had at the end of the last season? With this introduction of cold fusion in this world at the very least, or what the idea of it is absolute power. It's literally more power than you can imagine ever in a lifetime and beyond, basically. And so here's what it's doing to anybody that has it.
That's a good point, because in New Vegas, the whole point is control of the Hoover Dam, which is essentially hydroelectric power.
Unlimited renewable source of energy.
Renewable energy, yeah. So it's essentially the same struggle as whoever controls the dam has all the power, figuratively and literally.
So the cold fusion is the insert.
Yeah.
For that. Wow. We brought it back around. We did it.
Look at that.
We did it, folks. Don't touch that dial. We'll be right back after these messages. We just thought we'd remind you to show this episode some love by tapping that like button, if there's one to be tapped, subscribing to our podcast or channel, and if available, enabling all notifications, and sharing the show, or clips of it, with everyone you know. And don't be afraid to reach out. Leave your questions, feedback, ideas, or even concerns in the comment section. There isn't one? Head on over to ratethispodcast.com/squawkingdead and leave your thoughts there. Rating our podcast is the best way to get our attention because it also boosts our visibility. And we'll probably address it in the next episode too. And if you think there's something to what we're doing here at Squawking Dead, tip us over on Ko-fi. As a token of our appreciation, you'll receive forever access to our Discord, along with 30 days access to our uncut episode and interview recordings, plus our pre-squawk insights. Take your support further. Join a membership tier on either ko-fi.com/squawkingdead or patreon.com/squawkingdead, and you'll unlock access to more channels on our Discord server, receive shoutouts at the end of every episode, and depending on what tier you join, the ability to join us on camera and mic to break down future episodes alongside us. Thank you for hearing us out and making it this far into the episode. We now return you to our regularly scheduled podcast.
Before we go, just want to point out the one woman who was in the crowd too who fell from the ceiling when they opened the tubes.
I
you brought that
noticed
up
that,
last
yeah.
episode.
Oh,
Was
yeah.
it the ceiling though, or she just
it was
kind of
angled like this. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
I paid
She
close
literally
attention. I
fell.
don't think she fell from the actual pod. She was just trying to make her way down. And I think
Was she the one who couldn't see?
No, it was
Yeah.
the other. It was
No.
another one.
Okay,
No,
okay.
I was like, I'm okay.
I just thought that was funny because somebody mentioned last week, like, what
Rob.
about the ones that are like
Yeah.
angled up? And then
Yeah.
she
He was
fell
very
out, and I
concerned
laughed
about
out
that.
loud, naughtily.
Question answered.
All right.
She
That's
just
all I
falls.
wanted to say.
So I will close. I'm so glad, Rob. So glad you brought us here because I did want to mention something about that. I feel like the trend is that Norm is the main character in the Fallout games, whoever that is. Just checking all the boxes of, okay, let me use persuasion
Yeah.
to solve a problem.
Let me BS my way through this
Right?
problem.
Puzzle
Yeah.
solving, exactly. So
Yeah.
fine, but the reason why I thought that it was genius going scene to scene with all the McClanes is how, even though Norm isn't exactly what Hank McClane envisioned as maybe one of these super managers or Bud Askins or something like that, whatever, because Bud Askins is the one who thinks of this plan. Hank is just along for the ride. He's using what he was intended for different purposes.
Mhm.
Who knows where Norm is headed? He seems to me the most gray character who could go anywhere at this point. He does want to stop general badness, but we don't know what the end of his journey is going to be like. But
Yeah.
again, he's using his powers for his own purposes.
Yeah, I
Chaos,
love how in
maybe.
the beginning in season 1 he was very directionless and kind of underutilized. Like he didn't excel at anything because he was just bored with everything. He has more direction this season and he has a little bit more purpose, although we
He has
don't know
a
where
direction.
it's leading. Yeah, the direction is out of the vault. Now
Right.
that he's out of it, I don't know what the point is or what he's going to do.
Yeah.
He's going to look for Lucy or what he's going to do.
Gonna lead his own
Right.
band of raiders.
Yeah, he
It's
might
all
become a
of it's a
raider
Raiders.
clan of his own.
Corporate raiders. Oh,
Oh, I wonder
it's a
too.
twist.
There's a faction called the Followers of the Apocalypse. They dress like whatever the equivalent of modern people look like there, but they spend their time trying to help people out. They give them clean water, they heal their wounds, they help
Oh.
them kick their chem addictions and stuff like
Hmm.
that. So I wonder if that could be part of what Norm is trying to form with these junior executives with Reclamation Day, trying to make the world a better place. If they
Hold
could
up.
possibly become the Followers of the Apocalypse.
Hold up a second. So what you're basically saying, which is actually a furtherance of my thought of, okay, he doesn't do what Hank wants him to do, but he does use his gifts for his own purposes. What you're also saying, if this is true, and it would be really cool if it was true, is that he does what Lucy is failing to do.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Which is absolutely perfect because when you look at Lucy, she is a tryhard. And bless her, obviously, she's great. She does the thing, everybody. She does the thing you want her to do. Right? When you play games at first, if you're a good person, maybe I'm really outing myself as the way I play games. When you play games like this where you can choose alignments essentially or your path and stuff, I try to play it straight at first. Fable was the first one to introduce this sort of mechanic of light and dark side. You want to save the villager and say occasionally you make a mistake and you're like, oh, I feel so bad. I made a mistake. I'm ruining my alignment. Oh, I'm such a good guy. But then it's only later on that you crank your intelligence down to 1 and stuff like that, right? That's Lucy. Lucy is your first playthrough.
Yeah.
But really, eventually, if you're
You're
playing
the
the game
cool.
right, you're kind of a norm. You kind of bumble
Well,
into
I
greatness.
feel like my assessment of the 3 main characters, so Lucy is your lawful good, your goody two shoes alignment that you try to do right out of the gate. Maximus is the realistic way that you play the game because you're trying to be good, but like things are going to set you back and you're going to start taking shortcuts and you're going to start doing things for your own benefit rather than what's for the best because the game is harder than you expected it to be. Like,
or more nuanced.
yeah, more nuanced. And then the ghoul is the one that you do after you've played it 100 times and you're just wanting to see what happens at
The
this
bloody
point.
mess
What if
brick.
I was a jerk? Yeah. What if I just did whatever I wanted all the time? Norm feels like the playthrough where you finally have the hang of the game and you know what you're doing.
Midway
And
into
you're
the
like,
game.
I'm going to make a good character that actually is competent. Like,
I view Norm as, I don't know how to play this game. And midway through the game, you're like, okay, I think I get it. Thus far, you're lucky to have made it this far in, or I don't know,
Yeah.
maybe that's just the game. It doesn't let you lose or whatever. But then you're like, oh, wait, okay, I didn't know how this button worked, or I didn't know that you could do
Right.
this, or what.
I didn't know this mechanic existed.
And somehow you slid through and they're like, oh, now I'm actually playing the game. And with all the things you've done thus far, because you've had alignments, you've stumbled into things. So you're playing the game from this midpoint and you're like, okay, what can I do at this midpoint with all the nothing I've done? That's Norm as a character. He's
That's how I
literally
felt.
neutral.
Yeah, that's how I felt playing Baldur's Gate 3 for the first time. And like, I don't know how any of this works. And then halfway through the game, I'm like, I think I know how it works. I don't like any of the choices I've made.
Yeah,
Like,
but then you've accumulated thus far whatever it is, the
yeah,
experience
it
or
was too
alignments.
late to stop at that point. I was going to keep going. So
He also kind of outed himself in the first episode of the season. Bud Askin says, your choices are limited. Blah, blah, you only have a binary choice. Not true. I can just choose chaos.
Yep,
Here we are.
absolutely.
And you can stumble
be
into
chaotic.
greatness as a result.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, and Francisco says, I have a question. Why are Ella's eyes so big? Don't answer this. It's a joke.
Oh.
And is that a joke I'm supposed to get? Because I get it. I get the joke. If it's not a joke, it's serious. And
She has anime
I
eyes.
get Ella Purnell. Yeah, she's a looker. Can't say anything bad about it. Can somebody please say something about it, though? Please?
I said she had anime eyes. What
Yeah.
else do you want me to
Oh, okay.
add to
Was
that?
it
No,
a
David, we
section?
want you to
She's-
stew in your awkwardness.
Be awkward.
Francisco, you're on my side.
Feel
Right?
it.
Cringe.
Cringe again.
Meanwhile, Rachel's like, My heart burns there too, Dave.
But you won't hear me say it out loud.
Oh man, I just wrapped this cord so far around that did you see it drag? The mic just followed my face.
Yeah, I did.
I was afraid I was going to hit. I swear to God. And with that, everybody, with the threat of mortal danger, I wanted to get into Wind of the Willows because it's kind of a good commentary on the way the world works, societies and stuff like that. Because it's a commentary on a lot of things of the time, but it's in my notes. If you want to get that, it's a member perk. When you join a membership, you can get the unedited episode recording as well as my pre-squawk insights. And there's lots of links to references to the things I was thinking about bringing up, but didn't have quite the time. And with that, everybody, I've been your host, David Cameo, and I was joined by
Me, Cosmo Mom 09.
And me, Karina of Etta Karina Art.
And also me, Rob from Rob's Stuff and Thing.
And also, I just want to say, and also me, and also Francisco.
And
And also
Francisco.
Yeah.
Who says I
and
promise I'll show up
Francisco.
soon next week. Yeah. Well, listen, it's the holidays, and again,
Or tomorrow when we talk about Pluribus.
yeah, if you're into Pluribus
Just
on
saying.
Apple TV,
Yeah.
we're talking about that tomorrow.
David, do you love how I'm tagging us in every TikTok mention of dairy?
Yes.
I honestly haven't checked it in a couple days, but
Well, it's since our last recording I haven't.
yeah.
But
you're
every
so
time
enthused
something
about it.
I know every time somebody will post something about dairy and I'm like, this podcast is really cool. You should go listen.
It's working. It's working.
Is it though?
Maybe.
Nobody follows me on TikTok.
I do. Sure.
Do you? Oh,
Yeah.
I
Yay.
follow you.
Yay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I told you people stalk your
People
TikTok
follow
and
me.
all that. Yeah. Francisco's signing off too. Watch. He says, "Follow me on Instagram if you love JoJo's Big Adventure." Is basically what he's saying. Nobody likes JoJo's Big Adventure here except for Dave. That's right. Dave does.
I don't know what it is. Would
It's
I
an
like
anime.
it? Oh
It's
no,
not.
never mind.
No. Well, thank you all for joining us. I really enjoyed talking about this episode. I will say we're doing our darndest to get these episodes out on time. As of now, I am still working on the last episode of Pluribus, which is episode 8. And we're going to be talking about episode 9 tomorrow, which means it's definitely not going to be out before we talk about the last episode, which upsets me to all hell because that episode, the season 1 finale of Pluribus, came out days ago. Hey, help us on our journey. Fund this podcast. It'll help us do the things. I appreciate your support. Tip us on Ko-fi. Join our
Yeah.
membership on either Ko-fi or Patreon. Help us do the thing that we want to do, that we were meant to do, like the Brotherhood of Steel. Take care, everybody. We'll see you soon. And adieu. See you tomorrow, probably.
Bye.
Bye.
Last thing we'll say.
Good night, Francisco.
Bye,
Good night. Watch
Francisco.
out for scorpions. Francisco
Watch
says.
out for
Red scorpions.
rad scorpions. And they're not radical.
No, the other kind of rad, as in radiate.
No, they're
Radiated.
radical, bro.
Radiated.
They are not radical.
No, in fact, they're nothing but.
Bye, everybody.
All right,
I gotta go.
we're gonna end this so
Okay,
that
bye.
Karina's battery doesn't run out. Bye,
Yes.
everybody.
It's about to.
Bye.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
Thank you so very much for making it to the end of yet another episode of Squawking Dead. This one discussing Fallout's second episode of its second season, titled The Golden Rule. Do unto others that which you would like done unto you. And listen, if you have a YouTube channel or podcast platform that you'd like us to subscribe to, then we will do that. In return, we only ask you humbly to subscribe to our podcast and or our YouTube channel. I hope you've been keeping up with our podcast discussions, as I know that they've been dripping in terms of releasing. Having that 1 week of 3 different shows to cover really set us back, on top of some of the other things that have happened in the last couple months on the personal end of things. And we've got so many cool shows to come, as I may have alluded in the last several episodes, namely A Night of the Seven Kingdoms on HBO Max, and even Dark Winds, 4th season on AMC. You've reached the portion of the episode where we shout out our Survivors and Whisperers members. It's a little perk that they receive as a result of joining a membership. And you too can join a membership for as little as $4 a month and receive at least visual shoutouts at the end of every episode in the Walkers tier. The Survivors are our junior producer tier. They get to join our core channel on our Discord server, as well as join any developmental or internal meetings that we may have. And hey, they provide input on our decisions. But the Whisperers, like Rob Lucchese during this episode, get to join in on the fun with their camera and mic and lend us their thoughts in our episode breakdowns. It's an additional perk for them, as well as obviously the Survivors. And since we don't have any Survivors, we're going to move on to our Whisperers members, starting with Rob Lucchese, who you can reach on TikTok via @RobsStuff_N as in Nancy _Thangs, THANGS. and of course at kim.rowley1 on Facebook. I sincerely hope you guys had a wonderful Christmas holiday. And the only thing I have left to say is if this episode does not come out before New Year's, I hope your coming 2026 is even more lovely or wonderful than your 2025, however that might have turned out. But you're still here, which is incredible, and I'm glad that you are. And of all the things you chose to do with your valuable time, you chose to spend it here with us, listening to me, even here at the end of this episode, talking to you. There's nothing left to say but to remind you that we, you, me, everybody, are squawking dead.